So much to talk about on Tuesday. Got a very special guest. I'll tell you about him in a second. I'm here with my partner, 20 years doing the show called The Business of Life. And we're on award-winning KHTS radio. And when I say award-winning, we won the best community radio station in the whole state of California, KHTS, 98.1 FM and 1220 AM. Cody Como, our wonderful young man producer. You've got your Millennial Minute coming up in a few minutes.
Oh, of course.
Are you prepared?
Always prepared, yeah.
All right.
Let's give him a full minute today.
We always
cut the poor guy off.
No, he gets a full minute today. He gets a full minute today. I also want a big shout-out, Jimmy. You and I also want to share with our listeners what we talked about at lunch. You can listen on hometownstation.com, hometownstation.com, the number one online website in Santa Clarita.
Wow.
Maybe in Southern California,
That's
but
awesome.
certainly in Santa Clarita.
Yeah, it's a good way to watch and see and hear.
100,000 plus people come to that website. So if you're
That's amazing.
If you have something to say, go on that website.
Driving some traffic there.
Also, tremendous traffic. Also, you can listen to our show, which thousands of people do, on our app. Go to the App Store, put in 1220 AM, KHTS, and you can listen to our show. All right. So both of us are moved about Montecito. Tragic beyond belief.
It just is tragic. It's hard to believe, and I think it kind of snuck up on people. A lot of people don't realize how massive this thing is. It's just starting to creep into everyone's daily conscious, even though it happened over 10 days ago. But a horrible situation up there, and hoping those people.
Our hearts go out
yeah.
to you. I've spent many years. I used to have an office up there when I was growing my company. I know Montecito, spent a lot of meals up there. I'm going to get Charles involved on our show, too, especially on our next subject. His name is Charles Seifert. You got about that far from the microphone. I should do microphone training. And I should have charged you for that, but I guess I did charge you for that. So
It's always hitting your wallet.
I love.
Keep your hand on your back pocket when you're here.
I've got both on.
Okay, good.
Title Boxing is your company, and we're going to get into it today because to me it's a very, very unique, very special, you're an inspirational person. You run your company to inspire people to do better in their life. Tell us what Title Boxing is.
Well, first of all, I want to say thanks for having me on, Ron and Jim, and it's great to be here. Title Boxing Club is a worldwide franchise, and we're number 6 here in Santa Clarita in all of California, so we're kind of new in building the brand here in Southern California. What Title Boxing does is empower people to be better tomorrow than they are today.
I love that.
And we provide an inspirational, addictive, and empowering workout using basic boxing techniques and kickboxing techniques in a class environment to walk people through how real boxers train, how real kickboxers, Muay Thai kickboxers train. And we use those basic techniques to get people in the best shape of their lives. And we do it in a class environment with music and graphics on the monitors and countdowns. And we demonstrate everything in the classes so that even if a person walks in and knows absolutely nothing about boxing or kickboxing, wants to take a class, they just follow the trainer and follow our program. And usually people just love it. It's very synergistic and high energy, and it's fun.
You're not hitting anybody. It's not like you're in a boxing. You're not hitting anybody. This is a fabulous. I used to be a boxer, Jimmy, as you know, when I was younger. I've taken.
What was your record?
0-10. I never.
Just kidding.
Persistent.
Maybe Ron's not kidding.
Look at my nose. It's horrible. I had broken.
I'm glad you took a different career path.
Yeah, but when I became a older young man, I took boxing lessons again. The confidence, the individual, you're making such an investment in yourself that 3 minutes on a bag, this, Charles, is unbelievable.
Sounds like a great release, too.
Well, you don't have to go for an hour. It's not like you have to go for an hour, hour and a half. In 30 minutes, you've had the aerobic workout of your life.
Yeah. Is that what it is, 30 minutes?
Well, we've got 30-minute, 60-minute, and 75-minute.
Wow.
Now, our signature workout
Rocky
You
class.
couldn't go 3 minutes, Jim
it's
Piccirillo.
it's tough. I mean, if
couldn't
you
do
really
it.
follow the trainer's lead, it's
Don't
tough.
be daring me into the ring, Coach.
We're going to get you in there.
They
Jim.
have
Don't
they
worry.
have a what do we have? We have a special, right? We'll announce it maybe next week.
Yeah.
You have to tune in next week. There's really a special coming. What's interesting is 65 or 70% of your members are females.
That's right. Typically across the United States right now, about 70% of our members are female. And they range in age from 18 to 55, but I have to tell you, we have some 70-year-old ladies and some 70-year-old guys in the club banging away. And we have some Parkinson's folks, and we have some other challenged folks that are in there doing their best and keeping active, which I'm very proud to have folks of all walks of life, all genders, all races in the club. And we're doing good with that. We have a tremendous mix of people of all ages. And the social aspect of the club is building.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we've been open since October 5th of 2017. Yeah, we got about 165 or so people in
That's
the club.
tremendous. You need to put a
getting
cigar lounge in there or something. Oh,
Yeah.
no?
Yeah, well,
No cigar
With a
lounge?
glass window that we can just watch everyone boxing.
well, we have it great. We're right next to Boba Master
bad
and Baskin
idea.
and Robbins.
Oh, there you
and
go.
they come right out of the title, go over and get an ice cream, put that wake back on, and come right back into the club.
I was
We
there
love that.
last week when the guy actually did that.
Right,
that was
it happened.
hilarious.
Yes, it happened.
Yeah.
It was
Now,
pretty fun.
Now, were you a boxer, or how did you come up with this concept?
Well,
were you interested in that, or just decided this was a good thing to get into?
I've been in sports all my life. As you know, starting in 4th or 5th grade, Pop Warner football. You know, doing basketball, baseball, and throughout high school, multiple sports: lacrosse, soccer, football, wrestling, ice hockey. Ice hockey was a big part of my life, and over time, I developed a love for all types of sports. And about 14 years ago, I started martial arts. I started with Kempo, known as karate, and Kung Fu. And then from that, people had asked me, well, gee, have you ever boxed? And I said, yeah, I boxed when I was young in Philadelphia in the Police Athletic League, and long time ago. And I was part of the police force team, right, the local police force team, which is a bunch of guys just put you in the ring, and it's all just get in there and hit him, Charles. Get in there and hit him, But over time, I got involved in martial arts, and that evolved to getting involved with USA Boxing Organization, which is the organization that runs the Olympics for our country for boxing. And from that, they have the Masters Boxing Program, which is pretty much 35 years and older, can compete at all different levels of skill and size. And I got involved with the Masters. And from there, I started getting my coach's certification. I got certified in USA Boxing as a level 1 coach, which is entry level. And we have some fighters and developed some amateur fighters. And as I grew to love boxing over the last 7 or 8 years, more so than any other time, I wanted to do something different. I've been in high tech since 1977 in the computer and telecommunications world. And I thought, this would be a great business to open up in a family community like Santa Clarita. And why not have a business like this so that as I wind down my telecommunications career, I could have a rewarding, enjoyable, fun people business right here in Santa Clarita.
We're going to be doing a tech show pretty soon. You need to be a part of that tech show. Can you be part of the tech show?
Oh, yeah.
You've told me 10 times what you do for a living. So Carl asked me at lunch today, what does he do? And I said, I can't describe it. It's so high tech, I can't describe it. All right, so title boxing, we'll talk about it through the show, but what a great way to change your life. It's one of those experiences where you're not on a machine. You're actually involved in the process. That's what I like about title boxing. You're doing something.
Is it all boxing, or do you do other things? Like, what does a boxer do to train to get in shape?
You come over and we'll tell you. We'll come
skipping
over and
rope.
show
I
you.
mean, is it the typical things you see on TV, or
skip
what is
rope?
it?
Have you ever skipped rope in your life?
Yeah, absolutely.
How long could you think you could skip rope for?
20 or 30 seconds. At least.
So let me explain.
extremely hard.
We have a signature workout called the Power Hour.
Yeah.
And Title's got pretty much like an application patent on this. It's 15 minutes of warm-up, all trainer-led. It's a full-body warm-up, including shadow boxing. Then it's 8 3 minutes on the bag. So you're on a 100-pound heavy bag that's hanging from a chain from a big steel stand. There's 40 bags inside the club. Each person has their own bag. They're hitting that bag for 3 minutes. The trainer's calling out combinations and helping people with their technique, footwork, striking, and so on, balance. And then you have 30 seconds of exercise in between the rounds, so you're not stopping. And then there's 15 minutes of core with medicine balls. You pick your own size from 6 pounds to 15, and you go for it on the floor. So we get your work in, your whole body, no machines, no weights, very little chance to injure yourself. And it's a very big difference from going to what we call the big box gyms, like an LA Fitness or a CrossFit gym, which is very intense, where you're working with machines and weights. And if you really don't learn what you're doing, you can get injured. And here, this is a natural body, full body workout. And that's what we kind of focus on, is how can we get people moving just their own weight of their own body. Yeah. And hopefully they're losing weight and getting toned up, getting in shape.
If I could, you know what? I just may come over to learn how to do jump rope. I'm always fascinated with that. Jimmy and I'll bring Jimmy over because we both need to do it.
Oh, absolutely. We'll have to get a video.
Could you do a special class? All right, absolutely. Let's get on with the show called The Business of Life. You're listening to KHTS 1220, 98.1 FM. Jimmy, we talked about,
Quick hits.
What is that? Quick hits?
Quick hits. Give us some topics. Let's go.
I want to ask both of you before we get into the topics. Best day of your life. The reason I bring it up is my grandson Austin just passed his driver's test. He went to see me, took it, texted his pa with a bunch of hearts in it. I'm so excited for him. That was one of my best days of my life when I was 16 years old.
Getting a driver's license.
Yeah, what was one of your best days of your life?
I would say maybe that, although I think I failed my first driver's test.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. I had long hair. It was the 60s.
In Logan, West Virginia?
Yeah. Guy just failed me. I didn't even get a chance to do anything,
Because he judged you by your long hair?
Absolutely. He surely did.
Yeah.
But the freedom you get from getting your driver's license at 16, that's an amazing
Unbelievable.
thing.
What car did you take it in?
I took it in a Ford Maverick.
Yeah, Ford Maverick. I remember those cars. They have to. You're a car collector. Are they a car collector? Would they be a car
I don't think people still want a Ford Maverick.
No,
I don't think so. Or a Pinto, for that matter.
Yeah,
you never know. I mean, I saw a Pinto the other day at Ralph's supermarket up here, and it was in pristine shape. Crappy mud brown. It's an oddity. It's an odd looking car. It was then. It is now. There's not many of them there.
Did you have a parking test when you were 16?
Jimmy? Oh yeah, parallel.
They
park,
don't have it now. They don't have parallel park. No.
Really?
No parallel park.
Well, I guess you parallel park much anymore. I don't know.
No, yeah.
In California, you got to learn how to negotiate the valet.
You have to in California. You have to know how to find a parking spot first. All right, so that was one of the best days of your life.
I think so.
Me too. Charles?
Actually, I was at a Los Angeles Kings ice hockey game on December 26th, about 11 years ago, and my first grandson was being born. And I got the call, and I thought, it's the third period. We got to see who wins the game. And then I'll drive like a madman to the hospital, right? And I got there just in time for my first grandson to be born, and it was really very exciting that day. And you really feel like you've closed the circle of life when you have that grandchild, and that's how I felt on that particular day.
And he's 11 now.
He's 11.
Are you close to him?
Oh yeah, we get along great, and we stay in touch. I've got 3 grandsons and a granddaughter, so. It's branching out.
Is the granddaughter, is she old enough to be running the family yet?
She's only 5, and she's very smart. I mean, at 2 years old, they're using iPads.
Oh, yeah.
At 3 or 4, they're downloading apps, and they can't even read yet.
Wow.
And they're downloading apps and running apps and playing games.
Is that a good thing or
It's
a bad
amazing.
thing? Or?
Well, it's a good thing.
I'm just out, just speaking out of my head here.
I think it's a great thing, actually, because they learn at a very rapid pace. The bad part of it is that it keeps the kids from going outside and being active. And that's the part where the parents have to come in and take a little time management.
Yeah.
And as my daughter does, and my
I
son.
mean, the parents need to get off Facebook and then go and make sure their kids go outside. So
Yeah, exactly. You got to get the kids outside, and if not, get them into the Title Boxing Club.
there you go.
The other thing is the lack of social interaction. When the three of us were kids, we played in the street. We learned how to argue. The three of us are competitive people, and where does that competition come when you're sitting in front of a box all day? I'm getting on a soapbox here. I don't want to get on my soapbox, but I'm concerned about technology ruining the world and ruining our lives. And there's not much we can do about it because it's getting worse, not better.
Well, it's a fact of life. You just got to adjust to it,
Yeah, I believe now that the
Adapt and
average
adjust,
American has 7 online devices.
Yeah.
But where's the leadership? I know we're getting off topic here.
We had a topic?
Well, our topic is the nudist colony coming in here in a few minutes. I don't know how we're going to interview that
Yeah,
person.
that's going to be awesome.
It'll be fun.
Get behind the curtain, will you?
Yeah. Cody, do we have a curtain? How are we going to do this?
Well, I mean, we're radio, so that helps.
Yeah. Cover the YouTube camera.
Yeah, we'll turn it away. Point it at me. You look
Yeah.
at me. It's my reaction.
So
you have to adapt to.
But where's the leadership? Apple, and I love Apple, okay?
Yeah.
But I'm a little.
You're going to harp on the battery thing, aren't you?
I was going to start, but I'm not now
Why?
because you have money. You have Apple stock like I do.
Well, what is that? Doesn't
Well,
mean I have an opinion one way or the other. Just
We're heard by thousands of people. I don't want to start affecting their stock. What if we drive their stock down?
we're not going to drive their stock
No,
down.
we're not. But I think
It'll
it's
take
a little.
powers greater than you and I to drive Apple.
I think
stock
it's a
down,
little
my friend.
disingenuous for them to build in an obsolescence and not tell us about it. That's not corporate ethics at a high
I agree.
level.
I think it's unethical, but I also think that that's how you survive in this world. I mean, there was no kind of contract other than I don't know if you've ever even read the language when you go buy an iPhone or a.
Have you ever read?
I have not ever.
Ever.
But I guarantee if you go back in there's probably something somewhere in there that they reserve the right to make adjustments or whatever. I'm sure it's covered. Believe me.
The show is called The Business Life. Jimmy Piccirillo.
They got to sell the Apple iPhone 10 somehow, man.
20 years doing the show. Our very special guest today, the owner of Title Boxing, right across, it's that shopping center, right across from Best Buy. And I just got to tell you, I know it sounds like a commercial, it can change your life. If you're looking to change your life, and when you make an investment in yourself, it's the best investment you can ever make. And go over there and meet the people. And I promise you'll call me up and say, Coach, you were right again. Now, on quick hits, I am still a bitter. I all 4 teams last weekend, I picked all the losers.
Wow.
Yeah. I took Tennessee against New England. How did I do that? What kind of...
I don't know. Who bets against Brady?
Nobody.
Ever. Guy picked him apart like Swiss cheese, man.
An idiot like me. And then I took the Saints.
Best game of the year, maybe? I don't know.
Best finish.
That was
maybe of all.
It was exciting.
That wasn't the best finish of all time. The best finish of all time was the Patriots, the Butler intercepting the pass against the Seahawks.
Yeah.
That was crazy.
Yeah, that was a pretty still though, man. What a great finish, for the Vikings. And
I took Atlanta, the Chokers from Atlanta, Georgia. They cannot perform in a big. Do you like football, Charles?
I love football.
And Atlanta always lays an egg in big games.
Yeah.
And I still took them.
yeah.
And then what was the other game? I missed
Pittsburgh.
Steelers.
Oh,
Wow.
my team. My
Steelers.
team.
My team as well.
Yeah.
My team.
I
Me
lived
too,
in
growing up.
Pittsburgh 10 years, and if you live in Pittsburgh, you become a Steelers fan, or you
Yep.
just have to
They
move.
gotta
come
leave.
out flat as a pancake, Charles. They came out flat as a pancake. They could care less until the second half. By that time, it was too late.
So you think the coach is gone there? What's the deal with
No,
Pittsburgh?
they'll keep the coach.
They don't care. They love that guy.
But
right?
I think they need to get
they
rid
do love
of the offensive coordinator. The plays they called. 4th down, 1 yard to go. Big Ben, 6'6", 270 pounds. All he had to do was never mind.
he's 270 pounds.
Yeah, he's a big boy.
He waddles back and hands it off to who?
He's a big boy.
I think he's a little lighter, but he's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's a big boy.
He's a great quarterback.
There were definitely questionable calls.
Maybe
I've heard
two-
that from many fans.
That's what
all
keeps
over
it
the
interesting,
valley.
though. That's what makes it all go round. If the same team won every year, who cares?
How
And I was a Steeler fan growing up too. I grew up in West
You
Virginia.
were?
So.
Oh, you do.
Logan, West Virginia. How do we
Went to school in
compete?
Morgantown, though, right outside Pittsburgh. They're about an hour.
USA Today says we can compete against Amazon. How do we do that?
Who's we? Who are we? What do you mean we compete against
Target, Kohl's, Mace. I know that's not we, is it?
Yeah, no.
No.
That's them.
That's them.
Them are competing against them.
Them. Target, Kohl's, Macy's, JCPenney, and Nordstrom all reported stronger than expected holiday sales, contributing to an industry-wide sales bump of 4.9%.
Didn't help Sears though.
Now, be nice.
I'm just saying. Look at those companies, Sears.
So Sears is
JCPenney.
going out in our shopping center.
Yeah.
What
and across the country.
Okay, so you've got unlimited funds. You're doing okay. You've got money buried in the backyard, under the mattress, everywhere.
We got to tell everybody.
What would you
I mean,
put
come on,
into
man.
this?
Just give my address.
I will. What would you put into this location? I'm trying to be serious now, and I want to ask Charles. Too.
Title boxing clubs. I don't know. I don't know what you put in these
You're
malls.
really infatuated with this title box. I'm taking you over there.
The malls.
The eye candy, that title boxing,
Yeah.
pretty good.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a beautiful design. Part of our brand is the look. The other part is how clean that we keep it.
Amazing.
Yeah,
Do
it's
you,
spotless.
do you like somebody cleaning the floor? I mean, you could eat off those floors. I don't get it. You could eat off the floors.
Absolutely. People are tired of going to worn down,
You
dirty
need to put a bar in
clubs.
there. A cigar bar and a bar. You and I smoke cigars.
That would kill the smell idea.
Back to.
Hey, let me ask you something. Did you guys see a movie recently with Liev Schreiber? Is that his name? Liev Schreiber.
Yes,
You're ducking my question.
When he
Correct,
played,
yes.
he played the boxer from New Jersey. What was his name? The guy, the
He
bleeder.
played the inspiration for Rocky, I believe, right?
What was the bleeder? The big guy. He went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali. And
Chuck Webner.
Chuck Webner. Did you see this movie?
I had not seen the movie,
It got
but
buried. It didn't
I met
come-
Chuck Webner.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I did.
Interesting character, man. I watched
Very.
that the other night on one of those Netflix or Hulu, and it was an amazing story. Guy went 15 rounds with Muhammad Ali.
Yeah, never mind.
He never looked the same after that.
No.
guy.
No, and
He
he
can take a
suffered.
punch,
He
yeah.
suffered from what they now call the CTE,
Yeah.
which they didn't know what it was back in
Yeah,
those days, and today they understand that. So
He shouldn't have been in the ring. That was never mind.
Let me ask you this: how does safety play into modern day boxing or modern day boxing?
We gotta take a
classes?
break. Can you-
Obviously, we're not hitting anyone, but
Let's answer that question when we get back.
All right.
Show's called The Business Life. Jim Piccirillo and the coach, Coach Ron Tunick, Cody Como producing the show. But after the break, we're going to come back and answer the safety of boxing and the Millennial Minute, which I look forward to every week. Be right back.
You worry because your mom and dad aren't as active and are finding it more challenging to live on their own. The answer? Premier Assisted Living Community, Oakmont of Santa Clarita, now leasing. Located on Newhall Ranch Road, Oakmont of Santa Clarita, bringing comfort and luxury to assisted living. Your parents can enjoy 5-star amenities and panoramic views in a world-class community. No other assisted living community has this kind of luxury and amenities in our valley. Visit oakmontofsantaclarita.com.
Drugs or alcohol abuse can tear a family apart. In Santa Clarita, just like everywhere else, it's an epidemic. The Way Out Recovery is here to help. Call them now at 296-4444 or visit them on the web at thewayoutrecoveryscv.com. The Way Out offers outpatient treatment for adolescents, adults, and family members. The Way Out is compassionate, caring, professional, and confidential. You and your family don't have to suffer any longer. Call the Way Out Recovery now, 296-4444, or visit thewayoutrecoveryscv.com and make an appointment. Asking for help is the first step.
At Jersey Mike's, we think there's a whole lot of wow to be found between 2 layers of fresh baked bread. Like, wow, this sub sandwich sure has a little something something special. And wow, Juice does for sub sandwiches what spinach does for a certain well-known sailor man. Because we never just make a sub. Every sub we make is a sub above. Jersey Mike's. Be a sub above.
Your Santa Clarita Jersey Mike's, a proud sponsor of Santa Clarita High School football.
Finding the right lawyer can be a challenge, but in Santa Clarita, there's no need to search when there's Hacker Law Group, Santa Clarita's premier litigation firm. Jeffrey Hacker has represented celebrities, financial institutions, accident victims, real estate developers, realtors, contractors, businesses, nonprofit organizations, and other individuals and companies with their legal challenges. Mr. Hacker is one of Santa Clarita's leaders, consistently listed as one of our most influential. When everything is on the line and you need legal counseling, visit hackerlawgroup.com.
There's only one Santa Clarita plastic surgeon who is Yale trained and board certified, Dr. Justin Heller.
To be a board certified plastic surgeon like myself, what that truly entails is about 5 to 7 years of honed surgical training in reconstructive, all areas, as well as aesthetics, which means your facelifts, your breast augmentations, your body contouring, true training, and board certification. In fact, that's the only board certified area that can be achieved in this realm.
Dr. Justin Heller, warm, understanding, always available for guidance because he's local. HellerPlasticSurgery.com.
Hometown.
They're amazing, and every single one of their songs is amazing, except for like one.
Your hometown station.
Sweet, yeah.
Jimmy, can you hear me? Can you hear me? Lucas is building a sound stage, so I'll tell you about it more in the next month.
Awesome.
If you ever want to use a sound stage,
How about the music today? You were honest last week about music, and
is this your stuff?
well, we've changed it out. You
Let me
didn't even
hear it.
notice.
Let me hear it. Let me
Like
hear
you
it.
hammer us about music, and then we change it. And look what happens.
It's better.
Now we can't do more than 12 seconds. So.
On my show on Friday at 1 o'clock, the sports show that I do, if you listen to our hip hop, Cody, you're producing that show too. Do we have that music, Friday's music, that you can play for Jimmy?
I can pull it up in a minute. So
Yeah,
you're
pull
here.
that up. See what Jimmy thinks of that music. All right, so you're the star of the Millennial Minute, listening to the Business Life, 20 years doing the show. KHTS 1220, award-winning KHTS, and hometownstation.com, hometownstation.com. What's on your mind, young man?
Well, today it's a little bit short, but I found out yesterday.
You get a full minute. You don't have to make it short.
I know. Well, I don't have to make it short, but I'll say just yesterday I found out that Kim Kardashian and Kanye West had their third child via surrogate. So
Wow.
just want to get that out there.
That's old news,
Congratulate 'em.
dog.
Man.
That's old news.
It happened yesterday. I didn't know they had a surrogate child.
I
but
saw
they
where
have
she
them.
put Louis Vuitton decals or whatever all over her trash cans. I thought that was interesting. Like, really?
Yeah, they're interesting people, but yeah, so all the best to them and their new third child.
Get in arguments all the time about what her talent is. Her talent is that she's a marketing genius. My
She is a
goodness.
genius.
If,
without
if
a doubt.
Title
Phenomenal,
Boxing
yeah.
had Kim,
Yeah. If
you
we
need
had
to get
Kim. If we had Kim.
Yeah, call Kim. I'm serious. Call Kim to come in.
Kanye
Title
was
Boxing.
smart, man. He just sided right up to that.
Their little girl is adorable. What's her name? North.
I don't know.
That's one of them, yeah, Northwest.
Yeah.
Hey, I think we ought to get Cody, Carmen, and Katie and do the Millennial Minute. I thought he and Carmen had good chemistry last week.
Carmen.
Or was that 2 weeks ago?
Carmen's coming in Thursday.
Is that 2 weeks ago?
Carmen's going to be on the
That
air
was last
Thursday.
week.
Can you listen?
Yeah, I'll listen.
What a doll.
Yeah.
What a smart young lady.
She is.
So, all right, back to boxing.
Nobody knows what we're talking about, but go ahead.
It doesn't make any difference. Back to Title Boxing, right across the street from Best Buy over there is that Valencia or Saugus?
That's Valencia.
Is that Valencia?
It's actually Santa Clarita.
It is.
91350?
Yeah, that's Santa Clarita.
And
Jim
we're right there in the
Piccirillo.
Bouquet Shopping Center where the Ross, Vons, Jersey Mike's.
Plenty of parking.
Plenty of parking. It's easy parking. It's the polar opposite of the shopping center across the street.
Yeah.
Okay, Jim asked you a very important question. What is the risk that we're going to take? How do you rap people? You teach them how to rap, right?
Right. So safety is a really big thing. And one of the things that we insist on when you come into the club is we use professional hand wraps. And we wrap a certain way where the hand is reinforced by the wraps, the knuckles, the wrist, the lower forearm. And we use real leather gloves. We use gloves that are very high tech, built by Title Manufacturing, that are designed to hit these 100-pound bags. The other part that we focus on is warm up. Warm up is critical. Mm-hmm. Warming up the shoulders, full body warm up, a good 15-minute warm up before you even touch the bag. Yeah. That's critical. And then you'd asked a question earlier, Jimmy, about what are they doing today in boxing for safety? There's a number of things. One, there's tremendous training now from usaboxing.org on safety, starting with nutrition, hydration, wearing of headgear, proper mouth guards, proper protective equipment. And also the referees are highly tuned in now to watch out for and stop the fights before they get too far along. It's no longer the old days, right? You'll see today.
Makes for great movies, but it's not.
Makes for great movies and drama, but if you see in today's ring, I mean, they don't let the fights go on in like they used to in the old days. It doesn't happen anymore, and the reason being is they're trying to protect the fighters and their careers. I mean, after all, it's a business as well.
Right.
And we can't have boxers, if they don't have 25, 30, 40 fights, they can't make a living.
Right.
So they got to survive. So there's a lot of training involved, similar to things that going on in the NFL.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question? We're talking to the owner of Title Boxing, ladies and gentlemen, and I say it from my heart. This can change your life when you go over there, because the investment that you make in this new workout system is second to none, besides burning up probably more calories than you would ever imagine. When you leave, you just feel so good about yourself. Trust me, I've done it. A question about hydration, though. Before you work out, should you be hydrating like an hour before?
Actually, hydration is a constant process. What I recommend is that approximately 8 hours before you do a hard workout like this one, you're getting some carbohydrates, you're eating clean, what we call eating clean, and you're drinking water. Afterward, when you do a workout of this nature, you should probably drink about half your body weight in ounces of water within 24 hours to get that lactic acid washed out of the muscles.
Wow.
Yeah, and people
what
don't
is
realize.
lactic acid? I hear this all the time. Jim and I have never experienced this, but what is it in case we do?
Does it happen when you sweat? I don't know.
It happens when you're using your muscles, and it builds up that burn, that fatigue, that feeling where you just can't lift up your arms anymore, that heaviness.
Jim's never experienced that.
Yeah, they've never experienced, but we'll get you over to Title Boxing Club and have your knuckles
I'll
down,
bring him in.
down to the sidewalk.
He'll be impressed.
That class.
He'll be impressed.
Yeah.
I know you from off the radio. You're such an inspirational person. So is Jim. Both of you are. Let me ask both of you individually. Jimmy, how did you overcome in your life the challenges? Is it self-talk? Is it something you read? How are you able to overcome the tough times in your life? Can you share with our listeners?
Yeah, I think we've talked about it, several times on this show. But for me personally, it was just kind of always.
We've never talked about it. This is the first time I've asked you the question.
That's not true. We talked about it in the early days, but I think everyone has a different approach to life, and your early circumstances determine kind of how you walk and go through life. So for you and I, as we've talked, we came from similar backgrounds. No one ever gave me or handed me anything or opened the door. You kind of had to open your own doors and push your way through, but be a good person while you're doing it. I think me. I'm a big believer in karma. Everything you do comes back to you. If you're a good person in life, good things happen to you. So I always try to be a good guy.
But as a young person, how did you push your way through?
I had dreams like everybody else. You kind of set goals. I always had self set goals that I would try to hit, and if I didn't get freaked out. I would just go to the next one. I was also good at setting myself up to be lucky, looking at opportunities when they arise, not being afraid to walk through a different door if that door did. It's like anything. Got out here and went into the entertainment business, which is a multitude of ways to go. So.
You never quit on yourself, I guess, if
Never.
you want to sum it up.
No.
Yeah. Charles, what about yourself? How did you overcome the tough times in your life?
Well,
you grew up with money. Jimmy and I didn't. We grew up in dirt poor families.
My father was a good inspiration for me. He worked extremely hard, and he taught me and gave me a good work ethic. And then when I got involved with sports at a young age, that competitive spirit just never left. And no matter what happens, all the good and bad things that have happened in my lifetime, I keep going. When going gets tough, the tough get going. It's an old cliche, but certainly it's true. And I am up there with the tough guys. I want to be up there. I'm a survivor, and I'm a push. I push. And I get a little OCD from now here and there, but that's how I kind of focus.
What's
and get things
OCD? I
in.
hear it all the time. What is it? What's OCD?
Obsessive compulsive disorder. I get a little intense.
You do?
I get a little intense, And,
World
you
has
know,
to be in order. Everything has to be organized, and then
you got to have
doesn't like
organization.
chaos.
Exactly. So when you come to the Title Boxing Club, that's why one of the things I liked is there's a structure to the workout. There's a plan, and that plan you can burn up to 1,000 calories in an hour.
Wow.
Now try to do that at a gym yourself. Very difficult.
It's hard.
to
We've all
do.
tried that.
Very hard to do it. You can burn maybe 500 yourself, maybe 600, and we actually have members that are putting on that Fitbit, and they're measuring. Some are getting 735, 820, 750.
Most I've ever burned is like 50 calories.
Yeah, there you go.
I take my time.
Getting in and out of your car.
I take my time. I want to.
Well, hey,
I want to stroll on the treadmill.
It's hard to work out. Guys our age, I blew my knee working.
Right.
Blew it out working out. Jumping up on those boxes and stuff.
We're golfers.
Yeah, we're golfers.
Charles, we're golfers.
Well, actually, you brought up a very good point about knees and ankles and elbows and shoulders. One of the things that we don't do at Title Boxing Club is we don't run. Right? We don't send people running around the building and running in circles. We're not fitness people trying to get people to use, our clients to use boxing and kickboxing gear. We're boxers, kickboxers, and martial artists that are helping folks improve their lives, improve their fitness, and do it naturally.
Right.
So they don't have to take a pounding. They can do the work, and they can do that. We have a lot of folks that have come in with injuries from extreme sports, from extreme workouts. They can still do this workout and get the benefit without the impact, high impact, stressful exercises of that nature.
That's good.
Yeah, so we work on that.
I had elbow surgery last year, and you think it's going to be a couple months, and you're right back. It's been a year and a half. This thing still bugs me when you lift something.
Well, you
or
don't
do
have a
something.
dentist do your elbow surgery. Let's start there.
Well, it was
maybe you
cost effective.
Maybe
though,
you get an orthopedic guy to. He goes to his dentist, Cody, and he says, "Can you help me out here?" It just
Doc,
doesn't.
it hurts when I do this.
It doesn't work that way. Charles, where did you grow up?
I grew up in Havertown, Pennsylvania, which is near, most people know where Haverford is, Haverford, PA. It's in the southwest suburbs of Philadelphia area.
So I used to have an office in Pittsburgh. I used to drive from my office in Berea, Ohio, which is where the Cleveland Browns train, through Bucks County. Oh, my goodness.
That's a long drive.
It's a long drive, but it's one of the most beautiful areas in the country.
Oh, yeah.
The Amish country.
Did you drive on Route 80 or
Yeah.
The Pennsylvania Turnpike or both?
No, Route 80.
Route 80.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it's beautiful country.
Up and down, rolling hills.
It still is beautiful there.
And I would stop, and they'd have these little hole-in-the-wall restaurants. And anyway, just if you've not been to Pennsylvania, it's a beautiful state. This whole country, there's so many beautiful areas of the country.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
I was watching this show from Kansas. Either one of you ever been to Kansas City, Missouri?
I've been to Kansas City, Missouri.
That's a cool little city.
Yeah. Very nice.
That is-
Coldest place I've ever been.
That's
though.
what Ellen said.
Absolutely the coldest place I've ever been. Sun out, beautiful day, 10 below zero. It's like, what?
Yeah, well, I had an office. I had a lot of offices, but St. Louis was that way too. But St. Louis had miserable weather in the winter and the summer.
Yeah.
St. Louis weather. St. Louis is one of the coolest cities in the United States, but the weather is miserable.
Highest murder rate in the United States.
Stop it! It's
is
not St. Louis.
It is.
Are you serious?
I just
I
looked
thought
at
it was
yesterday.
New Orleans or Chicago.
Well,
New Orleans is third. I just looked last night. I don't know why. I just happened to come across them. St. Louis.
You're
is
talking
one.
about
Shocked me.
East St. Louis.
I'm
East
shocked.
St. Louis.
No,
and
I'm
it
talking
is
about just St. Louis is the per capita murder capital.
per capita.
Chicago
has to be number one.
Chicago's like 11.
Really?
That's a
Oh,
fallacy.
because the per capita.
Yeah, so
The
how
per
many
capita.
per 1,000 people? How many murders per 1,000 people? Yeah, L.A. 44th. The cities that you think are really violent, and they are. I mean, it's still But I was shocked last night when I read that.
Where do you think
right in the Midwest,
the
man.
safest? Of course, I grew up in Thousand Oaks, which is always two of the safest cities in the United States.
Mhm.
Santa Clarita is pretty safe.
Yeah, we're like the fourth. We're advertised as the fourth safest in the country per size.
In the United States
per size.
So where can we go and be safe from the missiles that are coming from some other country? Like this thing in Hawaii.
Nowhere.
This thing in Hawaii is unsettling for me.
And Japan, they just had one yesterday too.
The false alert.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't want to get down on this government one individual really messed up a lot of people yesterday or over the weekend.
I'm not sure of the process of what happened, but the scarier thing is that the response time was so slow. God forbid it had been real. I mean, so many things happen that make us realize it's not the action; it's what didn't happen.
You grew up in Logan, West Virginia. I grew up in a lot of places, but the San Fernando Valley is one of them. So back in the 60s, they had these big towers with the speakers on them, and they would do on Fridays these tests.
Right.
Do you remember that, Charles? Oh, you grew up in Pennsylvania.
Yeah, so
did you have those in Pennsylvania?
Not that I remember.
So how
they were phasing out when I was a kid. I remember the bomb shelter tests and the where to go in the event of those are all just kind of phasing out as. But I do remember them.
Maybe that's a business the three of us should get in, is building bomb shelters. What do you think? Cody, would you ever get into a bomb shelter?
I don't know if I'd be able to afford a bomb shelter, unfortunately. So
you have 45 seconds more on your Millennial Minute. Do you want to take it, or do you want to?
We're talking about bomb shelters, I guess.
No, what was your Millennial Minute today? It was Kardashians.
Yeah, just shouting out Kim and Kanye, another kid, surrogate kid, which is interesting, but they had one.
Because
that's all that's on his mind. Nothing else today. Just the Kardashians.
Bitcoin dropped 20%, so yikes for some people.
Bitcoin, don't get Jimmy started on Bitcoin. Dropped 20%.
I guess I'll tell you 20%. Yeah.
What's it down to?
I think 11,000 is what I saw somewhere in that.
And it was 20,000 2 weeks ago when you were thinking about buying a Bitcoin.
I wasn't thinking about it.
Never
you were thinking about it.
No,
you were going to explain to us how it worked. We still don't know how it works.
I did. We got to go to break. I did not. I did explain it to you. You weren't listening. I said it's a great way to wash some money if you need to laundry some money. Mr.
Down the
Big
drain.
Time.
It's also a way to lose some money down the drain.
You're going to pay a lot of taxes. We had a guy on earlier talking about that, how the taxes is one reason why people are getting out.
Also, just so you know, there are a lot of bomb shelters being built right now.
Are there?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It's a booming business.
Panic rooms.
Right.
Really?
A survivor
I don't have your kind of dough, so I'm never going to build one.
I won't have one, but
Charles has a lot of money.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break. We're going to come back, and then Jimmy and I do our editorial every Tuesday at 1 o'clock. We're going to get into a subject that may be too sensitive for most listeners, so you have to be at least, I would say, 35 to listen to what we're going to have.
No problem with our demographic, but
we'll be right back.
My neck pain, it was constant.
Whitening Lightning founder Jen Gerard.
Nothing helped. I tried it all. Then a friend told me about Mend Cryotherapy.
Mend Cryotherapy is a natural treatment that uses extreme cold to aid in the recovery of muscle, tissues, and joints. Professional athletes swear by it. Those in chronic pain love it.
Chris, Matt, and his staff are amazing.
Find out what so many others have discovered on Newhall Ranch Road in Rye Canyon by LA Fitness. Mend Cryotherapy.
No more pain.
And now a cooking tip from Keith Mowry from Bob's Country Meats. For a change of pace, think about cooking a leg of lamb.
Leg of lamb, great, boneless. Marinate them in a garlic marinade. Let those roast in the oven for about 25 minutes per pound at 350 degrees.
Lamb, chicken, tri-tip, pork chops, turkey, steaks, even exotic game like buffalo and ostrich. For the tastiest lamb in town, visit Bob's Country Meats on Soledad in Canyon Country.
Hi, Kirk Stinson here with Plumbing by Kirk, your hometown plumber. I want to stress to you how important it is to get proper advice on what to do in case of emergencies. Always know where your shutoff valves are to be able to isolate it and have the problem taken care of on regular hours and avoid expensive plumbing bill.
We invite you to visit our website for free plumbing advice at plumbingbykirk.com or give us a call, 263-6519. That's 263-6519.
My dad is the best plumber ever. Plumbing by Kirk.
Hometown. Your hometown station.
I just like the variety of music.
KHTS.
Play that. I like that. That's good. Who's that?
It's Bruce Springsteen, Glory Days.
The boss. I wanted Jimmy to hear Friday's music. Can you come up with it? I want to get his opinion on my music on Friday. 1 o'clock.
We'll do it on our pre-production meeting. How about that? Yeah. Oh, we don't have a pre-production meeting.
Oh,
I got it right here for you.
20 years doing the show. Called The Business of Life here. Oh, is this it? Play
This is it, yeah?
Yeah, I like it. Play this.
1,000. Biz busy on the bus.
Oh, that's much better. I love it. It's so fitting to our format.
You like it?
Yeah.
I think they hate when people tell me take my time, right?
Maybe we can bring a younger audience in. You and I we always have lunch together on Tuesdays over at Jasmine's, our favorite place.
Love it.
And we were talking about corruption, which is serious. And we get Cody involved in this. Charles, too, if you want to jump in. I'm concerned about the apathy, the lack of people caring about what is going on in government. Everybody's so occupied with their own lives, are you concerned about volunteerism? Ellen and I talk about this all the time.
I'm concerned about all that, as you know. I think, people, we've gotten to where all we talk about is talking points,
right.
Real hard right, real hard
right.
left. But
point.
And, everybody's in the dark about so many things.
Right.
They've learned how to make sure that we're all really upset every day about everything except the things that matter, like volunteering,
right.
and helping out and giving a helping hand and helping people up. People forget all that kind of stuff. They pit everyone against each other. When I say they, I mean it's a big they.
Why don't we volunteer more? We're blessed in this community, have such a caring community in Santa Clarita. A lot gets done in this community, but I'm just looking at the overall good that could take place if everybody. I think I said this a month ago. Do you remember me saying that in Israel you have to give 2 years service, right?
Right.
Why don't we make that mandatory? Cody, you should be able to go and give 2 years service. I don't care, picking up trash, doing something. Why don't we have something like that, Jim and Charles?
A lot of reasons. How are they going to live for those 2 years? It's like, his generation, just like our generation and every generation before it, is concerned first and foremost with providing for your family and taking care of yourself. These guys, it's tough out there to even find a job, much less go volunteer 2, 3, 10 hours a week to do something for someone else. That's kind of my little take on it. But, it's deeper and bigger, and it affects all of us. Again, I just think they've got us all hooked on these talking points about immigration and, just
the bottom line is we lack leadership. We lack leadership that in every community. Where's the leaders in this community?
No, I would disagree with you there. I think on a local level, that's where the leadership starts. And I think it starts, in the communities and it's still there, and it is. What happens, it gets watered down on the national level and put into these big, easy to choose buckets. I'm with him. I'm with her. I don't like her, but I like, in topics that really make no sense. If you want to make a difference, you do it. You start local. You start in your community. You start with things and people and you start helping people and then it'll filter up, hopefully, Just like you and I doing our little bit at Christmas to help the homeless shelter here in town. The same thing when a young person comes to you and needs a gig or a job or a little bit of advice. You try to pull them up and help them up. You can't sit around and wait on the government to come in and do this.
So maybe I want to bring Charles in on this, but maybe where you start is go to a church, go somewhere to start. Charles, what do you think?
Well, actually, I think one of the biggest problems that Jim hit the nail on the head there is the good things are not publicized. They're known to the people that are involved. They're not necessarily publicized. They might be in a newspaper. They might be online. I think the local online is where you find these things going on. And if you want to get involved in something, I'm new here to Santa Clarita, so I've been looking at all the local websites and different publications, newspapers and whatnot, and radio.
Go to hometownstation.com and you can see here. There's plenty of places to volunteer. Yeah,
there's plenty to do here. You just have to go and do it. And take a look. There's lots of things to get involved in.
And, you just hit on a good point, too. The traditional news sources that we grew up with was a newspaper or the evening news. Right. I still watch the evening news. I still like the slant of the 6:30 network news. The stories are longer. They're a little bit more in-depth. They're a little bit more factual. They don't, just scream out all these crazy things. Unfortunately, people don't read newspapers anymore. Newspapers are going away. I just read here who's laying off, the company that owns LA Times and the San Francisco Chronicle laying off thousands this week. So people get their news from, headlines. It's a headline society. Nobody really takes the time. It's like Montecito. It's like the mudslide. All week long, everybody I talk to go, oh, yeah, that's horrible. Hey, are you going to the Clipper game tomorrow? Nobody, it's almost like it's just another topic. People don't realize that 20 people died up there, 40 people missing, hundreds of homes are gone, because it doesn't, and it's only 80 miles up the road, but it doesn't affect our daily life, and it's a headline. It gets desensitized.
And there was only a 10-second shot of the hundreds of people that showed up for a memorial.
That's right.
There's a 10-second shot.
Thousands of people.
There a story on that? Right.
And there's thousands of people up there right now volunteering. You're talking about volunteering.
Absolutely.
You got to see how many people are up there, helping and digging through the stuff and taking food and water and
the first responders, the guys that volunteer from different states to come out here and work the fires.
I was thinking more, we do have an exceptional community here in Santa Clarita. I was thinking more national. I was thinking more of a draft environment where we draft these young Cody Comos into public service. That's the point I wanted to make, Cody.
It's a lot of money. It's a lot of money. You guys paying a lot of taxes for me to live, so I'm cool with it. If you want to do it, I'm open.
I think it's kind of dangerous, too.
Really? To have a public service draft?
Yeah, I do.
Oh, my God. This will be a subject next week because now you've got my dandruff up. and I take dandruff shampoo and my dandruff's up.
Like I said, if you're paying, I'll do it. Yeah.
Very special guest today. He'll be back Friday. Charles from Title Boxing. And thank you for coming to this community. And you've brought something special for all of us. This is a great way for people to change their lives in such a positive way because your people at Title Boxing are so positive. So thank you, Charles.
You're welcome, and thanks for having me on today and give a chance to talk about the Title Boxing Club.
You betcha.
Thank you, and good luck with it.
Cody, thank you, pal. See you Thursday. See you Thursday at 2 o'clock with Charlene. Charlene at home with Charlene, Santa Cruz's #1 mortgage lady. See you Thursday
Make
at
sure
2.
you play the sports music for that show, though.
No, do the hip-hop.